Hello everyone and welcome to episode 22 of the TW9 Dragon Gate Save here on the channel as we are in the Gate of Mayhem for this episode. And boy oh boy, has there been some crazy things going on in the world of as far as here in the mod. We've pretty much, with us upgrading our production, we did upgrade one spot. We upgraded, it was uh, our music, which is not, crazy, but it at least it helped us a little bit because Noah has went down, really went down. They went all the way down to local, high pros, volunteers, semi-pro. We're now, as far as production wise, better than them, so that's great. Obviously, they're trying to cut costs and trying to make things, manageable for them. And because of us upgrading the licensed music, we at least have a jump on everybody as far as music wise. So that's great. And almost everybody live experience wise, besides obviously 0-1, and obviously, barring All Japan and New Japan, we're basically making a run for number 3. We're pretty much overtaking Noah, which is hilarious since they stole half our fucking roster, and that's what they get. As far as for this Gate of Mayhem tour, of course that means the Gate of Mayhem match, the Scramble match, 6 men. 5 men will be qualifying, the 6th person is a mystery guy, but as far as in their order of in the match is based off of their qualifying matches, whichever day it falls on. As that's gonna be a lot of fun. Last year's match, was won by Shinjiro Otani. I'm trying to think of what the show was rated, if I can see it here in the top 10. Don't see it here in the top, not even the top 10, top 20 even. It did not make the cut. Very unfortunate. I think the match at least was probably maybe up there. And there's Gate of Victory. Nope, don't see it. Well, that'll be a son of a bitch. But yes, so as you see, Otani's match with Mochizuki, though, that was still Mochizuki's best title defense match, as far as from that regard. But obviously, Yoshihino has been riding a hell of a wave. But I think his wave's about to come crashing down, potentially. As, man, he's had a hell of a run. But he also has a chance for history as well, to even expand this incredible reign even more to a level of just an unfathom amount of success, because he is in the co-main event. He is a part of that Blood Generation team that will be taking on Generation Next for the Triangle Gate. Yep, he's going to be the, potentially, if they win, of course, and if Gen Next retains again, this will stop this, but he's in the quest to become a Triple Crown champion at the same fucking time. That is insane. As far as, obviously, he's the only guy to potentially, if he is, he will be the first guy to be the Triple Crown champ, which is crazy to think, obviously, because obviously the Brave Gate title has only been 2 years, and obviously the same thing with the Dream Gate, and just wild, absolutely wild. In the Triangle Gate, has been 3 years. So, but still, it's just crazy, absolutely crazy. If, of course, he can get it done at the same time, of course, because he actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, because he was in a part of the Blood Generation team that won it in the summer of '05. So yeah, that he would join that list officially, just without it being all at the same time. But if you can do it all at the same time, nuts. Absolutely nuts. Because, yeah, again, the Braves, 2005, yeah, it's been a year. It's not even been 2 years. But, yeah, that's now officially 1 full year. The Dreamgate has been, of course, 3 years. But wild. Yeah, absolutely wild. He's still got a ways to go as far as days-wise. He's about 103 days, if we want to be exact, on tying Shima. He's already tied him for successful defenses. He will have to wait until, of course, the Pro Wrestling Festival in Kobe, if that's going to be the case if he's going to break the record. But again, just that's where we're going with this Triangle Gate match. You're going to see throughout the tour how this match is set up. But yeah, I mean, obviously we have a fun ass co-main, with that main event. Obviously, that's the match that everyone will be wanting to tune in to see. But now to be seeing the champ in a match, potentially going for it all, it's huge, absolutely huge. The match before the co-main is Do Fixer the Collection of Perfection. It's a 6-man matchup. I don't want to say who's in it because it will spoil who's in the Gate of Mayhem. So that's we're gonna just keep that a secret. Our first of two singles, or our last of two rather, since as far as obviously the opening match is a singles match. Amazing Red and Prince Nana in a singles match. You'll be seeing how this takes place and why this is taking place during the tour. Of course, we saw Nana and Claudio and Sanjay Dutt, of course, the United Embassy, take out Amazing Red after his match at our previous episode. So that gives you at least a hint of the direction we were going out of that episode into this one. But you'll be seeing in just exactly how we get here. Speaking of how we get here, though, the tag match here, the Briscoes taking on Shuji Kondo and Taku Iwasa. Obviously, some things are going to be shaken up in Aigan Lisu with this match taking place. Basically, what's going to happen, we kind of talked about it a little bit in the last episode, but to fully kind of flesh this out, basically, with Taku Iwasa coming in with Shuji Kondo to be a part of Aigan Lisu, Kondo did not, even bring it up to the Briscoes. He just brought them in, just kind of went in over their heads type of thing. Now, obviously, Kondo's kind of the leader, especially with, the Briscoes coming in as, since it had already been established with Kondo. And it's also crazy, obviously, now that Shogo's gone. He's literally the only last, surviving guy from the first run of it. But to have that kind of slap in the face, and maybe he didn't think it was necessary, maybe it's because they were in America, and obviously Wasa and him were in Japan at the same time, so this, made it easier. But either way, Briscoes did not like that, and they're going to make him pay for it. But it might have been a major mistake, because now they're on the outs once we see that, officially. But just crazy. Absolutely crazy run that the Briscoes have had as far as not being as great as I thought they would be, unfortunately. It has been a swing and a miss to a degree, but because, at least they're a good undercard team, which is just something I hate talking about with the Briscoes being like an undercard team, so I love them so much. But just it is what it is. We can't keep kind of forcing it. Just gotta accept our fate. But the opening matchup sees a debutee. Kenichi Hanai is taking on Naoki Tanasaki. Kenichi is his gimmick. It's basically, I guess, Rick Boogs is probably the best kind of example of that. I guess you could either go that or fucking Man Mountain Rock. Either way. It's basically just, a guy that plays the guitar and is a rock star. We're going to see not much of him this tour because he's literally going to debut on that final show. So it's the only time we're going to be bringing him up for now. But it's, we'll see. We'll see how it goes as far as with his debut against Yuki Tanasaki, who has been quite impressive. I still can't believe how well he's done. Because he was kind of just the lowest guy on the totem pole for Do Fixer. But now, as far as I just didn't realize Do Fixer, yeah, there we go. It was spaced out. That's why it looked all weird. But yeah, taking on Kenichi Hanai is the youngster in Naoki Tanasaki. Looking to get a big win to kick off the Gate of Mayhem. But yes, the tour is 6 days. And then the final day, making it 7. So it's one of our... Well, it hasn't been our longest of the year. That would obviously go to open the Brave Gate. But it should be a good one. We have a lot of big time matches on the tour. Without further ado, let's just get on with it. Trying to think if I need to do anything before we get going. I think we're good. Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, Dutch. Dutch is a fucking NWA national champ. I don't know why I clicked on this. We don't need to give anybody the night off. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to not run Kobe World Hall because we're going to run the Pro Wrestling Festival there. So we could probably kick off the tour in Kansai. That way, we don't have to circle back and because we're not going to, so it'd just be easier this way. Yeah, if we can get like 500 at a minimum, like 820 as a maximum. Oh, wow. Dragon Gate Arena. Well, that will work. That will work. We should probably do that more fucking often, actually. But Naoki Tanasaki and Ryo Saito are hanging out a lot backstage. That's good. The two guys, a part of Do-Fix, are actually being friends and being cool backstage. Yep, the pre-show safety and training drills. You're getting crazy. That's almost half the roster showing up for that. On and under Kensuke Sasaki, who just, in the mod, just won the Champion Carnival, so good on him. Hilarious that we had him as a fucking joke, part of the Florida Express, and now at least we've seen him get pissed off now. So maybe, and also speaking of a pissed off man, the returning Shinjiro Otani, and this time he's announced as we do a TV kind of promo with him with Katsuya Ichikawa, and how he's he was bummed that he wasn't able to win at all last year after winning the Gate of Mayhem match. I don't know why I said the Mystery Mayhem match. I guess because the last guy's a mystery, but yeah, we'll just call it the Gate. There we go. That way it's just. But for Otani, he being announced in it, and he's going to take on Shima, which is a very fun singles match. But for him, now with the new champion of Masato Yoshino, he's also hoping to maybe potentially get some revenge on Machizuki in the future as well. Brings that up since obviously that's who he lost to. But yeah, we'll go ahead and add the main event already. And Otani, of course, is beating Shima. Doubt they've had oh wow, they've of course, yeah, they only had the Gate of Mayhem match. I was hoping maybe, but then also I don't think we had because we are Shima, so obviously he wasn't like working elsewhere. I was thinking I forgot that we were Shima, actually. But we're good there. We're good there. All right. Our main event set. Our opening matchup will be Taku Iwasa and Sakihiko Machine, which is the Technical Masterclass matchup. Obviously, without gaining that much time, it's weird, but Technical Masterclass has to go that long. The second match, though, a little revenge potentially for the SATs. They are going to lose, though, to the debuting officially, as far as in-ring debut-wise, Claudio Castagnoli and Sanjay Dutt. And Claudio will get the win. We are going to see some shenanigans. We'll have Jose kind of get fucked up and tripped up by Nana. There we go. So that's, good, 10-minute match. Short and sweet. SATs are really going to make that work, though, because I have a bad feeling Claudio's not going to do well, and it's going to hurt my soul. The next match, Blood Generation against Tozawa and Kazuma Sakamoto. Of course, the team of Blood Generation will be getting the win here. Tozawa's losing to Shingo. Thought about Kazuma losing here, but he had just lost to Red, so I just figured be nice to have him not be involved in that finish. But yeah, only 10 minutes there. And yes, Kinsuke teaming up with Akira Hokuto, his wife, and Hokuto is going to go ballistic. After what happened, I think it's now kind of dawned her that she was played a fool just in the sake of saving, his tail, or maybe not even just his tail, his championship and Do Fixer itself. So, I mean, it's brutal. brutal. You know, how she basically feels like now she got played, and a very pissed off Akira Hokuto is going to go ape shit on Horiguchi to the point where basically the ref's going to have to call it off. And it's a weird finish like that, but also Kinsuke. Why this match is even taking place is because Kinsuke is going to take on a mounting revenge for his tag partner and stablemate in Ryo Saito. So that singles match, of course, will be on the next show, and it's going to be, winner gets a spot in the, as far as Gate of Mayhem match. Which, you're going to be starting off against Otani, but having Shinjiro Otani and Gensuke is going to be wild potentially, or even Saito and Otani would be wild to see starting it off. We do need a Steel the Show match, I believe. It's the one thing we don't have. Probably the Claudio match, honestly. Claudio and Dud against the SAT team. Yeah, let's actually swap that. Yeah, I just got a good feeling that that's going to do better. We should be good, though. Oh, well, besides Taku and the Zagika machine. And yeah, he's working with broken ribs, I forgot. He's not fully healed from that, so that's going to be fun. Oh, wow, we almost went overtime. That's wild. Oh, yeah, let's have that open the show. Good thing I remembered. Yes, 74 minutes. We might as well just go over one more minute just to cover our bases. Have it go 5. There we go. Now we're good to go. There you go, Otani. With a nice little interview for the TV show. Yeah, 819 people. Not a bad crowd. If I do say so myself. Yep. Yeah, the injury did a big toll, but the Noshigami from Taku Iwasa does get it done with a 32 segment rating, which is honestly impressive for two guys that are not over and with the injury. Yeah, that could have been way worse. Iwasa almost got a 50, though, so shout out to him. Doing very good in the Tactical Masterclass matchup, yeah. Yeah, these guys aren't over enough. Tozawa and Sakamoto were the better team as well. I mean, just fuck us running. Shingo, though, with the last Falconry, though, on Tozawa. And again, it's just crazy how bad Kagatora's been. Yep. 27. 27 for Claudio. Had a feeling. But Sanjay Dutt did well. Good for him. Yeah, Claudio pins Joel Maximo with the Gotch neutralizer. I thought about calling it something different. Because, again, I just feel like it'd probably be a good idea. But at the same time, might as well. As far as neutralizing, as far as with an embassy, it's neutralizing a foreign conflict or something like that. So at least that term itself is useful. So I figured, why not just keep it? But, the match was good. If you take out Claudio, which is disgusting to say. But Maraha Isapa beating Kinsuke and Akira Hokuto because Hokuto just goes into a rage and refuses to let up. And yeah, fun match though. Not great, I guess, with Akira Hokuto. I guess she's supposed to be competing against women. I thought we set that to any for her. I guess not. What a bunch of fucks. Hating on Hokuto. Crazy Kensuke with a 56. I just now realized that. He got outperformed by Saito and Horiguchi. That's pretty wild. What was that? Did we get a reason why? It's got to be age and tiredness. Has got to be. Oh, he's just holding back. Damn, that's it. They did have a tag specialist bonus. Oh, that was a segment. Yeah, that wasn't even him. As far as penalized for competing games. So, yeah, we gotta make sure that gets changed. For her, yeah, there we go. Needed a better color commentary, which is, yeah, I guess I could see that. A spiral bomb, though, for Otani on Shima in 22 minutes. Gets the win. Beats Shima in a hell of an effort. Tough break for Shima. with us being Shima, I'm always, I guess, lenient to let him lose a little bit more than he probably should. Here, especially after losing to Masato Yoshino, probably not a great idea. But then again, I thought Otani was going to outperform him, but at the same time, he is out of his, he's not in his prime while Shima is right now, so I should have thought of that more. And not a bad show, though. I mean, sure, everything else was going to get knocked for, not having worse broadcasting. And oh wow, we even have that's because of our rival. But at least we're gonna look better than Noah. So fuck them. Main event delivered, and we made about 14,500. That's not too bad. Not too bad. For the first day in the books, I'm just glad nobody got hurt. Again, I mean, we just keep on getting fucked with injuries. But that one went off without a hitch. On to day 2 we go. We'll see how Kinsuke Sasaki does against Ryo Saito. Alrighty, for day 2, we have as far as our main event, of course, Kinsuke and Ryo Saito, which Kinsuke is going to win, and it's going to be in quick fashion. Reason why, Kinsuke, even though he's older, he's so much bigger than Saito. Saito's, I think, 5'9", like 170. Just 5'7", 176. So, and Kinsuke's at least 250. Yeah, he's a big motherfucker. So, when you have something like that, and a guy that's so physical like that, and has been so dominant that we have seen like this new kind of version of Kinsuke, we're still going to keep it going. Even though Saito's awesome, he might even outperform him, which is crazy. But Kinsuke, we're striking him when the iron's hot, and he's looking like a killer. We're booking him like a killer. So that's been a lot of fun to see. So this is going to be the night where Kondo and Taku Iwasa are going to get turned on by the Briscoes. Before we get to that match, we're going to book Rocky and Seidel, which Seidel's going to beat Rocky. Reason why we're doing this is just to get Rocky out of his loan deal to bring him back full time. That way we will have the headband of Pitbulls full time. Then we'll go with the Briscoe brothers and the Collection of Perfection, which the Briscoes are going to win, which is quite interesting since they are now obviously, we're going to see the interference here with them basically costing, as far as with Horiguchi. Oh no, this is the co-main. Clicked on the wrong match. But yeah, I was going to say that M2K and then Horiguchi and Tanasaki just getting a win here for M2K. It should be a pretty good little match, though, all things considered. This is the reason why we also had to make this, is because we needed a technical masterclass match. So it's mainly why we did that. And then this was going to be the technical masterclass matchup. That's right. So actually, we're probably going to. Yeah, we'll probably switch that and have this be it. So this is when the turn happens. So basically, Kondo is going to get attacked first. Then we're going to see Iwasa get attacked after the 2-on-1 on Kondo. The Briscoes going to come in, hit their springboard Doomsday. Then into Milano getting his win, beating Taka Iwasa in company, and yeah, that's the turn there. Which obviously then they're going to have their promo on I believe the next day, explaining why they just did that. But as far as, yes, let's swap that. There we go. Now, oh yeah, we're gonna keep that. Have that be the regular matchup. Now for the angle, as you see, it is a Chris Hero vignette. And with this, it's basically filmed kind of like the superhero shows of like the 80s, like as far as with the over the top characterizations of like having hero shots of Chris, because he's so tall, have it be looking up and kind of looking around, but it's done with that kind of over the top kind of voiceover guy that is, he's he's your hero. That's the whole tagline at the end. How he's is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Chris Hero. That type of word they use basically for his theme at the time, as far as the little intro. That idea is kind of fun. With also at the end, you hear a iconic, in my opinion, laughter of Larry Sweeney to at least tease that Sweeney is also in it. If of course people would know Larry Sweeney at the time, because it's not identified as him. It's basically the idea there with kind of that again, the cheesy superhero with that being the shot and the focus, showing some clips of him wrestling, of course, the kind of who and another like who do you call Chris Hero instead of obviously Ghostbusters, but that whole tagline there. And we're also bringing in, because at the time this had already been out, but from Shrek 2, and he used this at the time as well, kind of would cut in a little bit into his theme that I need a hero, having that being played as well, to where he's just doing heroic things, and some of it cheesy, over the top, but we can get away with it, I think, with this type of vignette where it's kind of filmed again, like the the Amazing Spider-Man show, the first one of the time period, and the Luther Rigno Hulk show, kind of that type of style of vignette. Maybe not like the filter wise, so that way it still kind of looks like it's filmed in modern time, but just I figured we give it a little background there, and that's going to be right in the middle. That way it gives it a bit of a breather on the show. We should be good to go, though, as far as everything else being considered, because we have everything. We have a techno masterclass, we have all the nooks and crannies covered. A lot of guys being overused, but fuck it, we're just kind of stuck with that. We are, in Hagoku for this show. Matt Sydal beating Rocky here. Had a feeling this might happen, but a springboard 450, though, gets it done for Matt Sydal, and he was the better guy, so shout out Sydal, already looking pretty solid and looking like a good fit for us. And there's someone that's injured. Mark Briscoe breaks his ribs. Because, of course, now Jay's getting better, though. So that's great, yeah. Springboard Doomsday. Jay getting the win over BB Hawk. He outperformed him, so at least that works out. Yeah, not a bad little matchup for the Briscoes. Commentary gave it a lift, too, so that's great. Zero doing the heavy lifting of that one. BB Hawk was the one who caused the broken ribs. Holy shit, it got a 0. I think it's because we put it as hype, and obviously he's not been to Japan. Assuming that's it. But yeah, his gimmick, he's your hero. He's not just anybody's hero, he's your hero. And that kind of tagline, which he did use around the early 2000s of, the kind of the IWA Mid-South era, Chris Hero. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. But 0 is hilarious. Milano, Collection AT in Yujiro. The Collection of Perfection beating Igon Lee. Soon, of course, we see the turn. Wow. They had guys that were not over enough. I'm assuming it's just Yujiro. Oh, Milano actually did better than I thought he would. It was a tactical masterclass matchup, so does suit his strength. So yeah, it was a good win. Also, the reason why this match is taking place, Milano, Kondo, that is taking place as far as with the winner getting the spot in the, of course, Gate of Mayhem match on day 3. So that's why this match is mainly taking place. Oh, good match here. There we go. We get it back on track. Naruki Doi Machizuki beating Nuki Tanasaki and Jinki Horiguchi. Good match. Yeah, good match. Nuki Tanasaki with a 40. The Bakatori sliding kick from Doi. As 6:04. 16:04 rather on the time. Yeah, good match. Good good match, good co-main. And the main event follows it up. Kinsuke getting outperformed again is fucking hilarious. I'm assuming because I don't even know why he's doing so bad. Because he was doing a lot better as his comedy self. Here, it has not been it. It's because he's holding back and he still has the poor momentum, which is hilarious. But yeah, um, crazy, absolutely crazy again that he's getting outperformed. But shout out Kinsuke. My goodness, was everyone being used too much? Wild, wild fucking times. Yeah, it's still a zero. Awful, awful stuff. Yeah, now Mark's not gonna be able to work. Oh, he is. He can be worked through. I was about to say. Thought he could. We've seen guys break their ribs, unfortunately, a lot in this save. Only made $8,000. That's not great, especially with the ticket sales being as high as they are. Oh, that is pretty brutal. But day 2 in the books. On to day 3 we go. We'll see how the Milano Shuji Kondo singles match goes. I believe that's the first time we've done that here in the save, which is kind of crazy since they've both been here since the beginning of the save. So to finally get that for the first time, good to see. Good to see there. We'll see how it goes. And for the rest of that day 3 tour show. Alrighty, so for day 3, as far as the start of the locker room incidents here, Naruki Doi and Takayuki Yagi have been hanging out backstage, so shout out to them. And, oh yeah, Kenichi Hanai, as far as he's been, I guess must have been picked up by Otani as a protege. He must have been working 0-1. So he's been getting tips here as, he's, trying to be more consistent now. So good for him. Oh, didn't mean to click on Otani. And that's it. As, yeah, oh yeah, I don't know why I keep on clicking that. We don't need that. Alright. So, as far as for the show here, we'll just go ahead and start off with the TV promo with the Briscoes. So, Katsuya Ichikawa's trying to interview the Briscoes. Mark is obliging, but Jay just goes on a tirade and we let him really get into it. They're not anybody's young boy. They're not anybody's bitch. You know, Mark is trying to keep it, as far as he was thankful of Kondo for bringing him into the fold, but not getting told about this. Why is, Shuji Kondo trying to bring in a guy that was making a joke, and just because he feels like there's a new change of attitude doesn't really, they don't trust him, right? And they would have liked to have been informed about it. So when they saw the writing on the wall, they feel like, Kondo was overlooking him and not taking him seriously, a part of Aigan Lisu. So they took matters in their own hands. So that is just pretty straightforward there. Then we're going to go with Tozawa and Alex Shelley. Shelley's going to beat him. Of course, this happened. Oh, no, it didn't happen. I thought we've done this before, but no, first time meeting there. So 2 first time meetings. It's still crazy that Milano and Kondo never had a singles match against each other. They've been in multiple multi-man matches. Even the 4-way elimination match to crown the Saito, and that would lead to Saito and Shima for the Open the Dreamgate Championship. But yeah, this is we're setting this for Steal the Show. Milano gonna beat Kondo there. It's a big win. Big win for them. There's our first 2 matches. Then United Embassy making a big splash, hopefully. Now, what's interesting is basically Red is he's cooking, right? He's in there with Sanjay. I would love to see him in there with Claudio, just because Claudio's such a great base. And especially, it's also crazy too because Red's like 5'6", 5'7", maybe, and Claudio, of course, 6'5", 6'6". We would be towering over Amazing Red. It'd just be a very fun dynamic. But at some point, Amazing Red has turned the tide against, I would probably say Sanjay Dutt. And Prince Nana sees it, he feels it, and he cuts him off. But he cuts him off by taking Claudio's briefcase and hitting him in the back of the head with it, and it's caused a DQ. The ref sees it and DQs him, not trying to hide it. They're willing to risk losing out on future money and future chance of maybe advancing with wins And really why that is because they are so funded, backed by wealth. They're able to do that. With royalty and wealth comes that type of sacrifice that they can make for maybe the bigger picture. In case it hurts Amazing Red, getting hit with a briefcase, not great, not great at all, to the back of the head. So it's very old school in a way, that type of angle, but we'll see how they do. We know, of course, Dutt and Claudio in-ring wise, it's still crazy Claudio is the worst out of those two, but now I think Nana's probably going to be worse than Claudio. We'll see. We'll see. But this match here, Do Fixer versus Kota Ibushi, and Jinke Horiguchi, rather, facing Jin next to Jack Evans and Roddy Strong, and Jack's going to beat Horiguchi here. That's a massive win. We set this for Steal the Show as well, which will probably not have that be the Steal the Show match since we have two of them already. We'll go ahead and take that, take all out off. There we go. So a win there over Do Fixer. Then Machizuki and Naruki Doi versus the Collection of Perfection, Tai Chi in Zero. This is our Technical Masterclass matchup, and Doi's going to beat Zero. Now, I will say, as far as building wise, Machizuki, he is involved in the next qualifying match. As far as from that regard, and that's why they are in this match here. Yeah, so as far as Doi and Machizuki, we'll see how they do. As far as, in that regard, as far as being the Technical Masterclass matchup after all those matches, might be a bit of a gamble, but I think we're going to be able to make it work. We're good, at least nobody's overbooked for the first time on this tour show. 70 minutes right on the dot, so I like that as well. I think we had a pretty good show on our hands. The TV promo, wow, that did better than I anticipated. I didn't think they would be able to cut a promo, honestly. Which is crazy because they are a great promo, but just at the time, we haven't really been giving them that opportunity. But they deliver in a big way. So does especially Mark, which is crazy because Jay is a great promo too. But then they both kind of flummoxed, or one of them flummoxed it, and one of them succeeded in a big way. Tozawa losing to Alex Shelley's Border City stretch in 8 minutes. Good win for Alex Shelley, of course. And we'll be seeing the rest of, well, almost all of the rest of Jin next, obviously now with Seidel. It's not the rest of them. Another 37. Prince Nana with the briefcase to the back of the head. Wow, he outperformed Claudio. Boy, is that painful to see, but a hell of a win for the SATs because of that. DQ. They were the better team. I just did not want them to lose. We were in a weird spot. I wanted the SATs to win, but also didn't want the United Embassy to lose because I knew the Red and Maximo Brothers team obviously is the much better team in-ring wise, and I felt like we could still have United Embassy look good. They just beat, of course, the Maximos in the tag match. So I just felt like this was a great way of kind of meeting in the middle. But with this shot to the back of the head with the briefcase, this is going to lead to Red and Nana having the singles match. So that's why that takes place on the final show. I figured we cover that. Yes, Machizuki and Doi beating the Collection of Perfection. Very good, obviously, tag performance from Machizuki and Doi. Zero in Tai Chi, though. Crazy Tai Chi was as bad as he was. But a hell of a win, though. As far as Bakatori sliding kick from Naruki Doi over Zero. Huge win. Huge win there. And Jin next. Jack Evans Roddy. Getting the win. Doing pretty good. Obviously Jack again, 69 with the rating. Crazy's the best guy in the match. Kota Ibushi with a 40. Breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks it. But Jack Evans with a corkscrew moonsault in 10:24. Getting the win there. Yeah, Kota Ibushi being the worst guy in the match. Wild. Wild to see. Wow, they were not over enough. Wild. Did not expect that at all. Milano was the better guy. He got the win with the AT lock as well. And the crowd was hot still for it. It just had the wrong thing go on last. 38. Another kind of piss poor tour show. But I feel like we're having good matches, at least on the shows. We're having at least one good match where it's above a 50, and we'll take that for a tour show. But give it almost 11 grand, or almost 11 and a half on ticket sales and merch and all that profitable shit. We're making money. We're making money, so at least we got that going for us still. And yeah, we're basically at the technically we'll be at the halfway point after day 4, but first 3 days in the books on the day 4. All right, so yeah, the basic and safety training drills. 18 people showing up for that. Yeah, that's awesome that Otani wants to put over Grand Aniwa. I don't know if we'll do that, but yeah, Grand Aniwa, he is the surprise guy, and I think that's a huge get to be able to bring him in. And it's not going to be just a one shot. We're going to use him. I think, I love Grand Aniwa. He had returned around this time, might have been around 2004, 2005, but definitely in this, mid 2000s time period. Of course, he did not work Dragon Gate, but was such a critical part of Michituku Pro and quite the colorful character rather. And I love him to death. So be able to bring him in is great. Kotobushi has a greater finish for us to use, and Chi not getting along with Hokuto because she's the morale officer. But then Milano brightened the mood backstage by doing several funny cartoon drawings of some of his colleagues, and then Zero also lifted the locker room when he organized and won a video game tournament. My goodness, and now Otani taking a Manabu Hara under his wing as a protege. Manabu Hara is going to be the big shooter for Ayan Lisu. We'll be seeing him debut at the final show. So as far as, boy, he's just picking everybody up to be his fucking protege, is Otani. So for this show, the main event is, of course, Dragon Kid and Mochizuki, the returning Dragon Kid, after being out for a couple of weeks, back, and of course the winner gets the spot in the Gate of Mayhem, which Mochizuki will win. There, as the co-main though, is this Blood Generation Jin Next match. Now this is a win. The seeds get planted. Shima's gonna beat Shelly here, and obviously there's a bit of a wow, he beat Shelly. They might have something, and obviously it becomes official when they face them at the Gate of Mayhem for the Triangle Gate Championship. Then we're going to do Doi in Yujiro. Here it was going to be 0, but we went with Yujiro because I wanted the Technical Masterclass matchup, so Yujiro gets that match. Then the SAT team taking on the Vanna Pitbulls, which they are going to lose, unfortunately, but I do like that going here because I think in the middle we're going to go with Claudio and Sanjay against Mara, Hara, Isapa, of course, of Saito and Horiguchi. So now we're going to see Claudio. It was going to be Dutt getting attacked 3-on-1 wise, and also Red coming in or as far as once they attack Nana, they take him out 3-on-1. It's another 3-on-1, but then Joel and Jose keep just attacking. Then the who will be Sanjay in this case because that's who's gonna be left. But the finish will be because of the 3-on-1 attack on Claudio. That way, at least we kind of protect him a little bit. We'll have it be Red. But yeah, Claudio losing for the first time, and it being Saito since he had lost to such a bigger guy in Kinsuke earlier in the tour. It's a great way at least to be like, he's there, like he can compete. It's just, Kinsuke's a demon type of feeling there. But yeah, Joel, so basically this will lead to again just more bad blood between the SATs and the United Embassy. Oh wow, and we're already over the time. Yeah, that is wild. We do have a lot of time. A lot of these matches tonight. Yeah, I'll put that in the middle. So basically this promo, it's explaining why they were, why Prince Nana attacked with the briefcase and with them, as far as with money and royalty comes the price of being powerful, and with power, it does come with a price. And they're able to afford maybe losing the gains of a match win because they know that they are going to be covered financially from their global wealth and being such a powerful unit of money. It's for them, it's to prove again that this united establishment of talent from all over the world, of the wealthy and the rich and the powerful, coming together. It is what they can do. That they can sacrifice again losses for the bigger picture. With that, them losing is kind of a great on-brand thing of them being like maybe they're getting a little too, cocky, a little too big for their britches in a way, if you want to look at it like that. But I think we're just gonna have to make this an extra hour and a half. I don't love it, but with obviously in real life we would cut some of the matches down just with post editing if things got a little sloppy in some places. But as far as this show, it should do better than the last main event at least, because we know Mochizuki and Dragon Kid are at least over enough to for this to work. Yeah, I think we're good to go though. For day 4. And yeah, the event of Pitbulls and the SATs. Crazy that they're still not over enough, but the Maximos did well. Ricky Reyes did well, actually. He got a 41, so good on him. Even with Rocky and Ricky Reyes having the tag team specialist bonus too, they still got outperformed. Well, it's a good starting point for him. And a Spanish Fly getting the win there. Then we see the Bakatori sliding kick from Doi over Yujiro, which will then follow into the promo, which, oof, that was awful. Yeah, the language barrier there. That's crazy. The Briscoes could do it, but not them. But yeah, that was, boy, that was bad. Bad, bad, bad. But basically, having the guys, this is not like pre match. This would be filmed after the matchup that they had on the previous night and what we just aired here for the TV. So 59 for the match, which actually did well, obviously because of Saito and Horiguchi. But yeah, Nana at least doing good work at ringside. Saito's got the hot new move going, and it got the crowd hotter. Shockingly enough, with all this kind of interference and shit. But yeah, 3-on-2, basically what it turns into. From a 3-on-1 to a 3-on-2 because Nana gets attacked. We're seeing a pissed off SAT, so it's them with some fire. And I kind of like that. I think they needed that a little bit. Blood Generation beating Jin next here. Shima with a swing over Alex Shelley. Thought about Jack losing, but went with Shelley instead. It's a good match, though. Blood Generation, I mean, listen, overall, they might at least give them a run for their money of being a better unit. But obviously, just Shima and Yoshihino, both of them are such a 1-2 hitter for them. But yeah, Blood Generation getting the win there. It's a white-hot crowd for our main event. And yeah, Mochizuki gets the job done with a Twister 2. Huge win. A 69 as well. I think this show, man, got the crowd buzzing even more. Yeah, about to say, we actually got it above a 50, which is shocking, even with such a a bad angle. Yeah, a lot of guys being slightly overused, but in the long run, it's going to work out because those guys are going to get more over. Yeah, to make another 10 grand. Not bad. Not bad at all. And yeah, I mean, now we are just rolling right along. I was thinking that there's 6 tour dates, but now I'm thinking about it, I think there might only be 5. I'm pretty sure now. I'm kind of second guessing myself. So I'm trying to count on who's all, because I don't think 6 days would make sense because we don't need it. Because basically the tour dates were to help promote who's ever. Let's look at the event. Yep, it is only 6 days. So yeah, our final road to day. I was thinking that was the case, as I'm glad I made that note. But yeah, I mean, as far as money wise, we're down 40 grand before we're going into the final 2 shows. I think we're gonna make money again because financially, with the monthly wage bill, we are below, I think, what we're gonna be at I think we're going to be around 100,000. We're going to make money. I really do think that. I think we're going to make money again this month. But yeah, on to day 5 we go. Alrighty, our final tour show. We have, of course, our basic and safety training drills before the show. BB Hulk and Akira Hokuto getting into it because, again, they just hate the morale officer. As for this final day, we have our final qualifying match of the, as far as the mystery, the Gate of Mayhem match. Why, again, I just keep on wanting to call it the Mystery Mayhem match. But Taichi Ishikawa taking on the Rookie Doi, and Taichi is going to get the win here. This is a massive win for him. And this is going to be an interesting story now for the Collection of Perfection, because they have not one but 2 guys in that match. So there's now a different kind of dynamic there with them. They're in there with obviously Kinsuke, Shinjiro Otani, and as far as in Machizuki, to have that kind of numbers advantage probably going to help them out a lot. And we'll see how that will play out. So Prince Nana will open up the show with a challenge. It's not an open challenge because he wants anyone but an SAT member to come out. And it's going to be Stalker Ichikawa that's going to accept this. And immediately when he gets into the ring, 3-on-1. So, didn't go well for him. But the bell rings and Nana is going to just pin him. I said it for him to dominate just to help him out. But obviously he's literally just going to pin the guy. Like, he's not going to even hit him once the match actually starts. Yujiro and Zero taking on Shuji Kondo and Taku Iwasa, which this will be the technical masterclass matchup. And Kondo gonna get the win, him and Taku Iwasa, with Iwasa actually getting the finish because he's probably the best technical guy out of the 2, which is kind of funny to say since he was a fucking comedy guy for 2 years. But let's see here. I'll swap that. There we go. Shima and Shingo versus Jack Evans and Matt Sydal. Fun little match. And Shingo's going to beat Matt Sydal to build up again to the Open the Triangle Gate match. Yeah, we'll have... I don't think who... Yeah, we do have Otani now that could be an agent. Yeah, we'll just have Kinsuke do it. Machizuki Milano Collection AT versus Kinsuke Sasaki and Shinjiro Otani. So this match, we're going to see miscommunication from Milano and Machizuki. Milano, blind tags himself in, and at times it feels like he's maybe not taking the match as seriously as Machizuki would like. Because again, Kinsuke and Otani, their resume speaks for themselves. Obviously, with Kinsuke now still being in his prime, Otani, of course, being more of his prime of the late 90s, early 2000s. But even then, they're kind of the same boat where they went to WCW so young. Because, are they the same age, relatively the same age? Oh, well, he's actually much younger. I figured so. Because I remember, he was still like, he was only a couple of years in when him and Eddie had that match at Starrcade 95, so. Yeah, that Otani might be younger than Machizuki. Yeah, he is. Because, of course, Machizuki is part of the OJ Cup, so. Yeah, that is true. That's hilarious. But yeah, Milano and Otani taking advantage of the miscommunication and into a bit of a shoving match. And eventually, Machizuki just head kicks him. And after he's head kicked him, Otani catches him from behind. We can maybe have Kinsuke lariat him. Then he tags in Otani. Because it looks like they're actually teaming. Like, Kinsuke and Otani, it looks like just they're on the same page. This is not a, like, they've talked about it before the match and warming up. Maybe throughout the match, it looked like they actually had a bit of a spark, a bit of chemistry involved. Hopefully that shows within the match, or they actually have chemistry in the game. But that's kind of the idea. Is like, man, wait a minute, this looks like an actual team here. So it catches. Also, it's just the tale of the 2 different teams, where one is not as cohesive and not really working together. The other one is, though. So, as far as that's just a simple story of the match. We are way over time because of having 3 matches that are getting about 20 minutes. Again, we would cut some of this down, but just for the I about did it the way you did in TW 2020, which was crazy. You click on the top there, but go ahead and just make that an hour 30. And we'll see how the final day goes. Should have a big jump in quality after those first 2 segments. Maybe Prince Nana's. Oh wow, it actually got above what I thought it would. Mainly because of Stalker Chikawa. He saved the segment, so good on him. God bless him. He got killed for it. Because basically, the first part is the challenge, and then the second part is Stalker Chikawa accepting it and then getting the shit kicked out of him. Yep, match gets a 19. That I expected. He gets a win with a lifting DDT. And he gets outperformed, which I'm not surprised. Which is, even though it's Stalker Chikawa, Prince Nine as an active in-ring guy, he had worked a little bit as an active competitor in like Ring of Honor, but obviously he's more known as his managerial stuff, and I think that's definitely for the best. With him, Zero and Yujiro losing to Aigan Lisu here. Zero did great. Just oh wow, we actually the crowd again just was not really into it. I could probably see that happening with what happened with the previous 2 matches. And yeah, Mikondo and Iwasa again, decent little team here. Decent little team. And with Yujiro losing, at least the worst guy loses in that one. 57 though for Blood Generation and Jin next. Hell of a match. Seidel with a 51 again. Jin next has really come together well with how, especially with Jack and Matt Seidel. I mean, that's probably the best tandem out of the team that we're gonna see, just ratings wise. But yeah, fun match. Shima and Shingo getting the win, with Shingo getting a massive victory. Mainly, I wanted to see Matt Seidel take a crazy bump from Shingo. I figured he would win with the Pumping Bomber and have Matt Seidel basically take an insane bump, like almost a standing shooting star as a bump. That way, it just really put over Shingo. 60 for the next matchup, Kinsuke and Shinjiro Otani beating Machizuki and Milano. Otani pinning Machizuki with a Dragon Suplex hold. I do love that. As well, just dumping him on his fucking head. He gets his win back, albeit under wonky circumstances, but he does beat him. Again, it's crazy that Otani and Kinsuke are just in the mid-50s here. In our main event, actually outperformed the co-main. Taichi with the grand prize win over Naruki Doi, a hell of an upset. And 2K not looking too hot right now. Struggling a little bit tonight, but at least Machizuki's in the Gate of Mayhem match. Yeah, it did pretty much exactly what I thought it would. Opening 2 segments were going to be the shits, but we got it back and rocking and rolling. For the rest of the card, I would say the tour actually went a lot better than what we have seen as of late. We usually don't have a tour show that goes above like a 50. And we had one, and then that one was a 47. So, I mean, we're usually just kind of mediocre with just how everything's going. I just now realized, I don't know why it looks like his arm is literally going right through him here as far as for Spider-Man. He probably should look like he's getting bit, but it just looks like shit. But we're going to take that one off. That loading screen. But for the Gate of Mayhem, it is a couple days away, and we will see how that show plays out next. Alrighty, so we are here at the Iraqi Coliseum. Pro Wrestling Noah's home. We're really stomping the fucking flag down with this one. And with this, we have our opening segment, and it's Kenichi Hanai. He's out there on the stage, guitar in hand, ready to put on a fucking show to kick us off, right? Before his match with Nuki Tanasaki. As, yeah, it is, yeah, I mean, this is, with him about to perform over the loudspeaker, you know, as far as, oh my god, you save me. This very cheesy, over the top, into with the overlay of, oh my god, it's a bird, it's a plane, we need a hero, you know, as far as with and it's the intro to what would be Chris Hero's theme, but out comes a what would be described, of course, for no one that's saw Larry Sweeney, a man that seems to be coked out of his mind. 12 large, brother, but he is out here not in kind of the feather boa and the glasses. He's still glasses up, but he's got a suit on. And he is just like, somebody save us. The fans are begging to be saved from this performance. So, and then, just, you know, look, what a dickhead. And he says, it's not because you're bad, it's because you're not really fully plugged in. As far as the amps back there, but your little cord for your electric guitar, yeah, it's not plugged in. But luckily, I called a hero. He's not just any hero, though. He's your hero, and it's Chris Hero with a cameo appearance because he's over there, not shown directly for, as far as for Kenichi. And he does not see him, but we see him because it's then shot to him. The amp is still not plugged in now. So because what he's doing is he comes out from behind the amp is a acoustic guitar, walks out stage with it, and now Kenichi and I's like, oh wait a minute, it's like, you know what what is going on? Because he's like trying to hold up, like, wait a minute, what, you know, I'm a rock star, I don't use the acoustic bullshit. And Larry Sweeney trying to be like, I mean, it's maybe a language barrier. Let me just show you what Chris Hero is here to save. And he's just like, you know, everyone, you know, come on, clap. He's trying to get the crowd to clap. And it looks like, oh, is it going to be a duet? But now Chris Hero takes the guitar, smashes it over Kenichi and I's head, which Larry Sweeney, with his infamous and just glorious laugh, laughing at it and being like, thanks. Thankfully, a hero is always just a call away. Sweet and Sour's International Chris Hero, the hero that you all want, the hero that you all deserve, and he is everybody's hero. He is not just any hero, he's your hero. And for Larry Sweeney, this is creating an opportunity, though. As he tells Chris Hero, he says, well, looks like Nuki Tanasaki needs a new opponent. What better man than everybody's hero, Chris Hero, to be the guy. Chris Hero somehow already getting better with his gimmick. Crazy that we gave this an angle idea bonus that was literally a near certainty to work, and it does not work here. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. It also sucks that the 12 large gimmick does not work, but the hero sandwich for Chris Hero, I was not expecting him to win with that. I thought he would win with something much different, but Chris Hero getting the win in 16:20. This was the Tactical Masterclass, of course, because we needed it to open up the show. Not great, because the crowd not really into it with the debuting Chris Hero, but he did better than I thought he would. I didn't think he'd do as well as, even better than Nuki Tanasaki, but he does. So that's actually not a bad debut for Chris Hero. It's a fun way to kick off his career. And Sweet and Sour International now making a splash as the Briscoes taking on Aigan Lisu, Shuji Kondo, Taku Iwasa. We see them get the win because it's the debuting Manabu Hara. So we have now two debuts. At least one was, well, both of them were technically a surprise for the show, but one was a complete outright surprise. As yes, Manabu Hara attacking, beating the shit out of Mark Briscoe, and then Jay coming in and hitting him, he sends Jay Briscoe off for the King Kong Lariat. Because at one point, you know, Kondo inadvertently, air quotes, attacks the ref to lead to Manabu Hara to, well, have him jump the rail. And, you know, he's in like a hoodie, takes the hoodie off, and oh shit, you know, goddamn shooter, Manabu Hara. coming in and beating the fuck out of people. So I got Lisu. It's a whole new look for him, but it looks like it's three bad motherfuckers right now, actually, running shit for him. So that's great for them. Looks like they're on the same page, and yeah, good shit. Had a feeling this was going to happen, though, as Amazing Red and Prince Nana at 30, because I'm assuming it's Red, it's still not over enough. It still cooled the crowd, but Amazing Red, a great performance. To have this loss, why this match is taking place, too, with no interference, is because that was set by the matchmakers of Dragon Gate. It is non-interference. We were going to see a clean finish tonight on this final show, especially with how the show's already went. At this point in time, there's already been shenanigans throughout this card because it is just mayhem. So this was kind of a way to get us back on track away from the mayhem with that match. But then our next matchup, a 6-man, that does really well. Do Fixer getting a win here. Saito, Horiguchi, and Kotobushi beating the Collection of Perfection of Zero, BB Hulk, and Yujiro. Obviously a great team is Do Fixer. They need a better color commentator for that match, too. But yeah, Saito really bringing it. Horiguchi was off his game, and he still was the second best guy in the match. So shout out to him. Yeah, good little match. Got it back on track for the rest of the card, which leads to our title matches. And we do have new champions. The returning Don Fuji. The big man of Blood Generation. Making a big splash in his return. Catching Jack Evans out of the air with a Nodawa elbow. Getting the win for his team. New champs. And more importantly for Masato Yoshihino. History being made. Triple Crown champ. At the same fucking time. He's got 3 goddamn belts. Good on him. A deserving motherfucker, to be honest. He's been incredible. He's had a hell of a run as our Open the Dreamgate champion. He hasn't defended the Open the Bravegate title in a while, and the clock is still ticking on that. But my goodness, has this turned things around for what Blood Generation is fully in control of every single belt. For the first time, that this has happened in Dragon Gate, as far as with the new edition, of course, of the Open the Bravegate Championship. It happened, with when there was only the 2 belts, but with 3, and each person, well, it's only just one person having all 3, but crazy, absolutely crazy. But a hell of a match too. In our co-main and our main event, we see our main event with a 73. Grand Aniwa with a surprise debut. Good on him. He does have his 56. Shockingly, Kensuke with a 59. Milano was off his game. He still had a 55, though, so good stuff there. Kensuke was also, I guess he was off his game, too. So that's why he wasn't as good as he probably could have been. So what happens here? Once everybody's in the ring, of course, and Naniwa with the huge return pop, or of not only the return of, holy shit, Grand Naniwa, but being in such a big-time match, Taichi and Milano are trying to run shit as a team. But shockingly, Shinjiro Otani and Kensuke Sasaki were seeing a unique kind of trend. Because at the beginning of the match, they, of course, are 1 and 2, which is a crazy start, of course. And they're kind of slow building it, even though it's 3 minutes before Milano comes in. That first minute, they don't touch. People are kind of like, whoa, that's kind of weird. But they lock up, and it looks like, they're kind of going through the motions a little bit. Because they lock up, and then it's a tight lockup for Kensuke. Gets him up against the ropes, and then up against the buckle. But it looks like he's not going full tilt against Otani. Like, it's clear that something is afoot. Because once Milano comes in, then it's a 2-on-1 immediately once he gets in the ring. And everyone's just kind of like, well, that's weird. And then Mochizuki, of course, will try to kind of even the fray a little bit, make it to where, he starts fighting off Otani and Kensuke for Milano, even though, just shockingly, again, with Milano and Mochizuki, these two, of course, just teamed, and there was the miscommunication. But now, Machizuki's helping him. And with Taichi then coming in, it turns into a 3-on-2 against this Otani Kinsuke team. It's just wild how this is all unfolded with how it's almost like a War Games match now, the way this is kind of turned into. With Naniwa coming in, of course, he is not a part of this story of the match that's been told so far. Just as a crab man doing his crab shit. Eventually, Taichi does get caught. I was thinking of having him lose to either Otani or even Kensuke, probably Otani. So he goes out. Then Naniwa, he loses to Milano, funny enough. Then Milano loses to Machizuki because Machizuki gets his kind of revenge for eventually the 2-on-2 again. It kind of folds into what became of that tag match where Machizuki's just tired of Milano's shit and he has enough. This time he hits a twister though. Twister doesn't pin him though because he's trying to fight off Kensuke and Otani. Kensuke has Otani, basically sends him in to Machizuki with a kind of face wash head kick that he used to do out of the corner. So having him do just a off the whip face wash into Machizuki, and he just pins Otani. Or he doesn't pin Otani, rather. Excuse me. He pins Machizuki after he's been taken out, and with also Milano getting pinned at the same time as after the face wash. So kind of each guy gets a pin there with Otani over Machizuki and Kensuke over Milano. Now it's down to those two. And what happens is Otani kind of looks around, as far as he's, the roar of the crowd, or maybe not even the roar, it's just kind of the boo of the crowd that's coming over. Obviously, this, Japanese audience would not usually be doing something like that, but they are just like, man, this has been some bullshit. Now, this just supposed to be a winner takes all type of affair, and was not the case. And Otani just kind of does he looks towards the ramp, does the head nod towards the curtain. People kind of, like, all right. So he head nods, and Kensuke's like, kind of trying to catch his breath and just looking up and seeing that, he just lays on his back. Kensuke knows, hey, all right, I guess we're doing it. He pins him. 1, 2, 3. Kensuke advances and wins this match off of what is this team working together of Otani and Kensuke, two men of great status, of course, outside of Dragon Gate. And again, the change of Kensuke went from a fun-loving fucking Florida brother to a pissed-off man after what happened with him and Horiguchi. But now, seemingly, it looks like they're colluding in a way. And we see, after the match, as far as Katsuya Ichikawa is just like, I gotta find out what the hell's going on. So he does a segment interview in the back with Kensuke. And as Kensuke is, talking about, hey man, this was the plan. Here comes a new look Mishima. No longer the blonde hair. A business suit with a, kind of slick back hair. He looks like a well off businessman now. He's got a briefcase. Opens it up. Fully in. Says, here's your payment. Thanks for doing business. And you see two men. These two men would later be identified as Ryan Sakota and Sean Davari. Davari and Sakota dressed up in suits as well, but Sakota, he's looking very, his all black suit out. Sean Davari, he's got some colors in his suit, but still looks very distinguished. And it's just kind of like, man, what no? And Katsuya Ichikawa like sees him, like, what the fuck is going on? A payment, and as far as Ichikawa, just he can't believe all this money he sees in this briefcase, and Kensuke says, hey, the job, I was paid to do a job, and I came here as my time here in Dragon Gate has been interesting. People laughed and joked about what I was doing here, but this year in 2006, he's proven that he still is one of the best in the world and one of the most dangerous men in the world. The money was right. The money was right for him to make this change. And so it's been clear that since basically the expansion of the Florida brothers, Kensuke's been paid off by these men to go full tilt in a fight with absolute anger in his heart. And we thought it was more personal. We thought it was more about Akira Hokuto, but no, that has not been the case. And then we see the next part of this segment. It's a pre-tape of, Tani. You could tell in the locker room, he's, doing his wrist tape, and he's kind of looking just like, man, was it worth it? And in comes Mishima, Sakoto, and Davari. And for them, they talk. They talk for the first time. Well, at least Davari doesn't. Davari's still silent. But Sakoto and Mishima. And Sakoto, again, he's using almost like a presence of just like, mainly being like the guy that's behind Mishima, like over his shoulder. And with Mishima doing most of the talking of, here's your payment, Mr. Otani. Thank you for working with us. It's been a pleasure. Don't think of this as sacrificing any type of taking a dive tonight was gonna make you less of a performer or less of a man or ruin your legacy. This is for the greater good. And you know what you did when you signed this deal. So, now again, these men of Mishima, Sakoto, Davari, they have just established, seems like Otani's deal in this return. So it wasn't just Otani coming back to get revenge on Mochizuki. It's now a whole nother grander scheme, seemingly by these three men. And obviously wealth is fueled, but it's a little bit more sinister. It's not what we're seeing with the United Embassy, where it's this kind of royal garb of talent coming together across the world. These are three dangerous men by the seemingly mist of it. And maybe there's some shady tactics on how they got that money, right? And that's what we're going to dive into more. Basically, Sakoto, we had his, character be called Wise Guy. It's kind of like a nod to the American mafia of, or the Italian mob, I guess you should mainly say, of a guy that's connected. And, of course, with Sakoto, that was kind of his gimmick at WWE. And it's weird having a Yakuza gimmick like that. We don't want to outright, obviously, say he's a part of the Yakuza. Having him be a part of it without saying it, I think is the best way of going about it. With this man that's suited and booted, and he's not taking any shit. And we're going to see that these guys, it's, with that type of money, it's not even that type of money, but maybe there's a little bit of incentive. Maybe we also will kind of see how what happened with Kensuke. Did they offer Hokuto protection, right? Was it more of, hey, don't worry, she's never going to be in any type of harm again, don't you worry. We will make sure that she's taken care of. It's an idea. It's an idea for sure. And maybe even was the Italian connection. Was Milano the reason why I did the blind tag? Was he being paid by these men as well to fuck over Mochizuki? There's layers to this. It's an onion. It's an onion. And we're going to be peeling it off throughout the summer. But my goodness, though. Oh, as far as yeah, we gotta change obviously from his foreigner gimmick to this money man, money Mishima. And with that, he's kind of the core of this, right? And we're gonna find out later on how the Florida brothers, they were taking those trips to America. Well, who was paying for the motherfucker? This man. And we're gonna, basically family that comes from money, but his family ties were not of, money that was well earned. I'll say that, I guess. Oh my goodness, we actually lost Pop for the show. Had a feeling the angle might fuck us because of kind of who was involved in it, which is terrible because the 3 matches that we really wanted to put over as like actual great in-ring competition absolutely did that. Gate of Mayhem was exactly Mayhem, and there was some shenanigans afoot. I don't know how the crowd would actually do as far as with a Japanese audience with that type of angle being done, but I believed in it. Again, I think it was the angle that really fucked us more than anything. As far as who to put over, again, Masato Yoshino, giving him a hug. He's been the man. Hero did great in his debut. I'll give him a hug. Hey, welcome aboard. And trying to think. Yo, Tiny. Yeah, put him over. This master plan, unfolded tonight. Increased our popularity, or decreased rather, our popularity in some places. That's brutal. But Kansai is still stayed at 59, so at least we avoided that catastrophe. We will not do a media scrum. We want to keep it very secretive. And I will do it. For this episode, I want to apologize, though, for the delay. This was supposed to come out Saturday. The timing didn't really flow over well. And then last weekend, of course, was Valentine's Day weekend. And that, plans could not be done to get it out in time for that Saturday and Sunday. So, just was like, well, let's just postpone it for the next week. As, for the show, though, it sucks that we lost Pop, but I think we're going to make money. Oh, yeah, we're definitely making money. So, I think we can make another investment. Let's see what would be the best case scenario. I don't know if we'll do... Oh, never mind. Yeah, we'll just make it fully licensed music. We can, we'll just upgrade the fee and we'll just basically add on another $25K a month. We can do that. So perfect, because there's no per show charge. So we're actually now on the same level as All Japan and New Japan. So that's a great first step. I don't know if we'll be able to upgrade to high quality, because there's the fee, plus there's the per show nights that are 10K, plus the 15K on top of that. That's a lot of money that we really can't afford. The live experience, it's basically an extra 10K a show. That's a lot. We'll probably wait for that as well. That is a huge jump. From 7,500 to 75,000 a month. That's a lot. We probably won't be doing that either for now, but again, just slowly and steadily increasing our way through, and it will officially be 2 years of the save at the start of our next episode. My goodness, though. My goodness. What a crazy card we have. I'm hoping that we can get a defense for Masato Yoshino during one of these days, maybe one of the premium pro wrestling days, before we get to the Kobe Festival. But yeah, that's the plan. I thank you all for watching. And then, after this tour, we open, for the first time, the Twin Gate. As the Twin Gate will be opened, we will start our tag team with the Summer Adventure Tag League Tour, which will be the staple of the summer. And we will catch you guys next time for that major episode, of course, of the Kobe Pro Wrestling Festival. Kensuke Sasaki, will he get the job done and beat Masato Yoshino? We will find out in our next one. Take care, everyone.